I'm Christine Lowe. Thank you for inviting me to talk about the UN Agenda 2030. What I'd like to do today is to divide my talk up into three parts, like you can see here, and then I will end up with a short summary. I'm sure you're all familiar with this visual of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. All 17 of them are important, and they are a reminder to public sector decision makers that all of them need to be achieved. Whether you are a rich society or a low-income society, it is a reminder that all of them need to pursue all 17 goals. I'm very happy to say that some multinational companies in the world are also using these 17 goals to assess their activities. What I've done here is to make it perhaps easier for people to understand these goals. On the right-hand side are what I would call the traditional environmentally related goals. On the left-hand side are what people might call the usual social welfare goals. In the middle, there are goals 16 and 17. These are the ones that deals with strengthening institution as well as collaboration. Now, these goals are easy to lay out, but actually, if you want an institution like government to do them together, it is actually quite a challenge. It is impossible to talk about anything today without mentioning COVID-19. During this particular period in the world, governments are coming up with enormous stimulus packages for the here and now. But I think people are beginning to understand that after COVID, societies must continue to develop. And when we think about plans going forward, it is particularly important to bear in mind the sustainability goals so that development and projects can fit into both sustainability and social justice. Now, in order to do that, what we need are governments and institutions to bear in mind the importance of aligning goals so that they can capture the benefits, as well as working together with stakeholders. Well, now it's time to talk about the how. We have just talked about the what in terms of the sustainability goals. In thinking about the how, the World Bank has come up with considerations for financial, economic, and environment. So you can say this is the three triple bottom line that people have heard about before. Other thinkers have also said it's important to include political and social considerations. Because what's important is, if you have new projects and new policy, it's very important that the policy have high visibility and there must be good communication so that there is wide buy-in from the community and from the stakeholders. Now, when you're looking at specific projects, it's also important to assess a project. Is it an early stage project or is it an advanced stage project? Obviously, this depends on where you are on the trajectory in terms of achieving whatever goal it is that you want to achieve. When you're thinking about a project, is this project going to be scalable so that it could be much bigger in scale? So when you know what is the goals you want to reach and you can assess the project, the nature of the project itself, you can be much better in thinking about the conditions for transformation. Now, the next is actually a Hong Kong contribution. Whatever you're going to do in terms of a policy or a project, you need to have an operational framework. And it's very important to remember the 4 T's. Make sure every project, every policy that you have these 4 T's. The first is, of course, you need a target and you need a timeline, because otherwise you don't know when you're going to achieve your target. At the same time, you want people to understand how you're achieving it and whether you're achieving your target. So you need transparency. You need to tell people when and how everything is going to be measured. And then lastly is there's very little that you can do all by yourself. So doing together with the stakeholders, with the community, it's also very important. So remember the 4 T's. Now we're now ready to look at, well, when and where. For us in Hong Kong, well, actually, you could say right here and right now. China is going through an energy transformation. It has been for some years, and it will continue for a long time to come. So when we're thinking about sustainable finance, we can think about life right here in China, in the Greater Bay Area, and in Hong Kong. Guangdong itself is going through a great experiment in energy transformation. Not only are we talking about financing infrastructure projects, but Guangdong is also a leader in things like emissions trading, and also it is already started to have spot markets in energy. Now, I think this is the sort of project that is excellent for sustainable finance and sustainable development. Cities are full of buildings, and we know already that buildings, the technology already allows us to think about how to make a building itself more energy sufficient. We know it's possible to actually clad a building, the exterior of a building, with solar panels. But we haven't quite done it yet. But this is exactly the sort of things that if a government, if the private sector, and with professional assistance, if this is the sort of thing you want to do, this would be very good, financeable projects that we should experiment with, particularly for cities with a lot of buildings, such as Hong Kong and such as Guangzhou and Shenzhen. I want to end my talk by also showing another example where at HKUST we've done some work. The building that you see behind me is actually a building in the middle of Tsim Sha Tsui in the city of Hong Kong. What the owner of the building has done is to have retrofitted the building, and they have achieved 50% energy saving. But not only that, by working on how you do things carefully, it is possible to also have much cleaner indoor air quality. In fact, you could have indoor air quality that meets WHO standards. Furthermore, because the humidity, the indoor humidity is also modulated, the degree of comfort indoor is also exceptionally good. So all I'm trying to say is the technology, the management, and also you can use sensor to tell you what is actually happening real time. All these things are now available to be put together. They're financeable. They could be on a much greater and grander scale. We're just waiting for the moment where all of these elements could come together. And this is where sustainable finance, achieving the UN goals, can all happen at the same time. So this is my summary goals. Just using the last project as the example, you can see that it can achieve all these goals. It requires people to work together, and this project itself is highly scalable, and it has very advanced returns in both energy and clean air. Thank you very much for your time.